We are at the end of the world. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachakwadash. And this video is going to be about how we are at the end of the world. Now, when I say the end of the world, I mean the end of an age. Because a lot of people, when they hear the word world, they think of the entire globe, the entire earth. But you see, that is why it is important to go into different words or different languages of words. Because the word world does not always have to be talking about the whole planet. Like, for an example, in John chapter 3, verse 16, it says, "For God so loved the world." So you mean telling me the Most High loved the whole planet? Or is he talking about a particular nation of people on the planet? Okay, in which he's talking about a particular nation of people on the whole planet. But the Most High only loves one nation of people, and that is the Israelites, which are the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Indians. So when I say world, I'm talking about when you go into the word world, there's many different words for it in different languages, such as oikumeni, such as aeon. Okay, such as cosmos. But I'm gonna go into aeon, which the word aeon is Greek for age. So we are coming to the end of the Edomites' age. We're coming to the end of the so-called white man's age. And the age of the Israelites is about to be established here on the earth when Yahweh Shai makes his second return. So this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. And I'll start at, let's see. I'll start at 7. Okay? 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. Then I answered and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Okay? So what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first? Okay? And the beginning of it that followeth. Now, when Esdras said the beginning of the first thing that comes to my mind is what? Well, let's go to the book of Genesis. Which shall be the end of the first, right? Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. So I'm gonna start up to 22. The book of Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So there were two children fighting in the womb of Rebekah. Okay? So after Rebekah inquired of the Lord, Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. Okay? And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Now, the Most High put a clear distinction right there, which proves that Jacob and Esau even though they did come from the same parents, they are not of the same nation. They are two nations of people. Okay, uh, uh, one, one baby would bring forth the nation of Israel, which are the so-called Black Latinos and Native Indians, and them whose father's lineage on their father's side goes back to the so-called Black Latino and Native Indians, and the other man would bring forth the nation of so-called white people. Okay, and the one people shall be stronger than the other. Okay, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay, Mosai is terrible. Mosai is terrible, man. Barakatah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah for making me an Israelite. Okay, Genesis chapter 25, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Now these were fraternal twins. These weren't twins where they looked the same, because one baby came out with brown skin and woolly hair. That baby was Jacob. The other baby, on the other hand, came out red. Why did that baby come out red? Well, I'm going to explain why as I read. And the first came out red. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, why was Esau red all over as a hairy garment when he was a baby? Because he had no brownness to his skin. His skin was translucent. And if you have no melanin in your skin, which melanin is what makes your skin brown. So if you have no melanin in your skin, people are able to see your blood through your skin. So the reason why Esau was red all over when he came out as a baby was because he had no melanin in his skin. Therefore, it was possible to see his blood through his skin. Okay? Okay? And now, when you look at so-called white people, if they stand out in the hot blazing sun too long, what happens? They turn red. They turn red from the intense heat of the hot blazing sun. Okay? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So Jacob came out with brown skin and woolly hair, just like Isaac and Rebekah. Because Isaac and Rebekah, they were brown skinned with woolly hair. Okay? If Isaac and Rebekah was alive today, they would be identified to the world as black people. So Jacob was brown skinned with woolly hair, just like his parents. But Esau, on the other hand, came out with no pigmentation in his skin. Okay? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. That is spiritual. Because we're going to be, it's going to be our nation that's going to take that's going to take these devils, the wicked, out of power. Starting with when Yahushua makes his second return. Because Yahushua, of whom the Most High have given power, okay, Yahushua is going to be the one to take the so-called white man out of power. Okay? So Jacob taking hold on Esau's heel is spiritual, man. Because Esau is going to get pulled down from his power. And Jacob is going to rise to the top. And his name was called Jacob, in which Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, he was an Israelite. He is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. Okay? So now we come back over here, right? 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Right? When shall there be signs of when we are at the end times? You know, and those signs are clear. We're looking at them now. all the earthquakes and floods and tornadoes and natural disasters happening all over the world, you still got hundreds of thousands of fishes beaching themselves upon the beach. Okay, water is becoming more and more contaminated. The air is becoming more and more polluted. GMO foods are at an all-time high. The air is constantly being polluted with chemtrails. There's civil wars and civil unrest, protests and riots everywhere you go. There's a pestilence going on globally, so they say, the pandemic. You got martial law and police state countries on lockdown. People can't even leave their houses. People got to wear masks, even if they go outside, if they want to go to a restaurant to eat. Even if they're in some countries, even if you're in your car, you got to wear a mask. Okay, World War III is on the horizon. You got the so-called Israelis making airstrikes. So we're literally living in the last days. And these are all signs of the end times. Okay? Or when shall be the end of the first? The end of the first meaning what? Okay? Who came out first? Esau did. So what shall be the end of the first? Meaning when shall it be the end of Esau's rulership? Because right now he's the one ruling the entire world. His nation of people is ruling the entire world right now. They have control of the media. They have all the gold and silver. They control the world through their banking systems. Okay? They control the different puppet presidents which they set up in office. Okay? They call themselves white Americans. They call themselves white Russians, white Europeans, So Esau is ruling the entire world today. So what shall be the end of Esau's rulership? What shall be the end of the first? And the beginning of it that followeth. Who came out after Esau? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. So what shall be the beginning of Jacob's rulership? Okay? What shall be the beginning of Jacob's rulership? Because Jacob's rulership is going to start with when Yahushua makes his second return. Okay, and I don't need to know why Second Esdras is shown with the King James Bible. Okay? And Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, because that's where the seed would be chosen from Abraham and Isaac, okay, and Jacob. From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, okay, born of who? Born of Isaac. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, as I read in the book of Genesis. But you got people who say the Apocrypha is not a part of the Bible, but it clearly makes reference to the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay? Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Why? Why is that? Chapter 6, verse 9. Here's why. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Starting with when Yahushua makes his second return. Okay? So we're literally living at the end of this man's rulership. So, Lord's will, you were edified. With that, I'm going to say shalom and on to the next one.